Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Zebec network. Now, listen, more Coinbase evidence. Shout out to Zebec, man. Seriously, dude, you are killing it with the information you always provide and the consistent tweets about Zebec. Shout out to everyone else that also consistently posts Zebec content on Twitter and everything. And shout out to you guys for the overwhelming support in terms of viewership, in terms of likes, in terms of positive comments, and etc. Shares and all of that. You guys are absolutely amazing. Listen, Zebec man said Coinbase is loading Zebec. Here's the full on-chain proof, full breakdown of why listing is soon. Let's break it down easy. Total Zebec bought in the past 12 months, 6.8 billion Zebec. Yes, 6.8 billion, 21.4 million USD average at a price of 0.0031. So roughly where we've been in the last couple of days, right? Almost 22 million worth, right? Almost 22 million worth. Current Coinbase holdings, 5.2 billion Zebec, which is roughly upwards of 17 million USD at the current live price of 0.00324. Verified on Salon chain across 27 plus labeled Coinbase wallets, right? Mint, and we have this wallet address over here. Top wallet breakdown from Coinbase One. We have 1.8 billion Zebec, which is almost upwards of $6 million. We have Coinbase Prime, which is at 1.2 billion Zebec, so almost at $4 million. And we can see 25 plus hot wallets at 2.2 billion, which is roughly a little bit more than $7 million. So a lot. 85% in the top 5 wallets equals classic pre-listing staging. Biggest buys in 2025. October 29th, 1.2 billion Zebec from crypto.com. November 1st to the 9th, 980 million Zebec, right? Still flowing. August 15th, 572 million Zebec. July 29th, 300 million Zebec. Viral alert origin. All inflows, minimal outflows. This isn't custody, this is inventory. Why now? Kraken listed October 15th, plus 30% pump, plus SOT2 compliant from the September 2025, right? ISO 20,022, 20,022, and MICA ready for November 22nd. Coinbase Ventures portfolio project, real payroll use at Walmart, Zero Hash, MasterCard, NBA, NHL, campaign drops November 10th. Coinbase listing odds 65 to 75% by quarter one in 2026. December of 2025, 70 to 80% post compliance. January of 2026, 85 to 90% if delayed, right? So the odds are actually lower in Zebec's mind in quarter one, because this would include January, February, and March. So he thinks actually it's going to happen much sooner than later, right? Much sooner than later. So anywhere between December and January would be expected. Matches Pith and JTO pre-listing playbook. Expected timeline. Announcements December 15th, 60% chance. Trading live EOY 2025. Coinbase effect 50 to 100% pump. Historical average. How to verify yourself. You click this link. You go to the holders. You filter Coinbase. Go to the transfers. You see billions flow in real time. Track at Look on Chain and Zbcn by OniX for live alerts. Do your own research, not financial advice, but the data doesn't lie. Coinbase is stacking Zebec like it's 2021 Sol. If you're in PayFi/DPIN/real world asset, this is your signal. Okay. At Coinbase, at Zebec, at all of these. Let's make it go viral. And then we have a little bit of hashtags. Few examples of the move once again. See 15,000 views, almost 250, over 250 likes. And we can see, right, these are going to be some of the wallets, some of the transfers, some of the amounts. And we can see we got here almost a million. Coinbase Hot Wallet 4, right? Boom, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Boom, another one, right? Coinbase Hot Wallet 3, almost 700K just here. This was a couple months ago. We can see purchases here. Boom, there we go. We have another picture of Coinbase 1, almost 500,000, right? Some purchases over here. And then boom, for the final one, we have Coinbase Hot Wallet 2. Once again, purchases down over here and etc. and transfers. And of course, we have the value up here. So look, man, once again, more evidence for the Coinbase listing. Okay. We talked about, Kraken listing before. There was evidence for it. It got listed. We also know, like Zebec man said, historically, when Kraken does list something, Coinbase usually follows, and even Binance sometimes right after as well. And you might be thinking, well, what makes Kraken so special that exchanges list these coins right after? Well, because Kraken is like, it's the exchanges for the big institutions. If you get onto Kraken, that means you went past and completed, and you got verified for all the regulations in the US. Okay. And pretty much, Coinbase just looks at Kraken. They're like, oh, well, they made sure they verified all the dirty work, right? They verified all the boring stuff. Boom. All right. Thank you very much, Kraken. We are going to just simply list this project that you just listed a couple of weeks later. It's just as simple as that, right? Think about it, think about Coinbase like the main manager or like a head manager, and then you have a manager below it, or a worker. That person does most of the dirty work, the heavy work. The manager comes in, just double checks something quickly, boom. All right, thank you so much to get paid more. That just think about it that way, right? It's just that simple. So yeah, if you get listed on Kraken, that's where all the big institutions are. That's where a lot of big players are, and of course, you have to get past all the regulation, the rules, in America, and etc. So, yeah, man, very very big. Once again, a lot of evidence, right? A lot of evidence. Now, there is just something else I do want to check when it goes something like this. Overall, I just want to show some of what the things people are saying. Zebec is back in an area. Oh my gosh, has always pumped. I think this time will not be different, right? So someone believes, we are down a good amount. We can go pump again. For me, I will discuss this in the near future, right? Manifesting a Zebec Coinbase listing end of the year. Let's not forget they, along with Circle, were original investors, right? Brian Armstrong, let's make this happen. We know you want those fees from the FOMO once this thing starts getting listed. And we can see, right? Part one, Zebec Network. Zebec is a decentralized infrastructure network for real world value flows. Funded in 2021, Zebec has quickly established itself as a key player in the DeFi sector, attracting 35 million in investments from notable firms such as Circle, Coinbase, Solana Ventures. We have, was it Briar Capital, Republic, and Lightspeed Venture Partners. So say what you want, doubt if you want. At the end of the day, more and more evidence has been staking up and compiling over the last few months. Okay. And at the end of the day, you had to think about it this way, right? If you had these odds and you saw all this evidence and everything was in front of you, would you be in favor of this going through or not? Think about it. If your life depended on it and you had to go with certain odds, are you going with yes or no? Now, I know that might sound extreme, but the point is just so there's that that takes away that lack of decision making, that takes away that lack of belief, right? Sometimes in life, if something suggests there's 70, 80, 90% chance it's going to happen, 95% chance it's going to happen, you just have to put, your eggs in that basket, right? Don't overthink sometimes. I know people want to see things happen first and then they react, but then you have to realize if you always play that way in life, you're going to be behind often. It's the same thing, right? People might be talking about Zebec for the last couple of months, and we've seen price rise and everything, and you might say, no, I'm going to wait. And then what happens a year from now? What if Zebec does genuinely 100x from a year from now? And then you saw the big green pump, and then what? Now you're going to get in after a big pump. See, the thing is, people wait for the proof. They disregard the evidence. But like I said before, life, when you really think about life is based on evidence. There's proof you crossed the street, right? You crossed, the sidewalk from one intersection to another on a green light and you were fine. But that's proof that you were fine then. But what about the next time you cross? There's only evidence to suggest that you're going to be fine with the car slowing down, the light being green, or like the sidewalk being green, right? That's the evidence. That's not proof. The proof is once you make it. So I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, do what you want with this evidence. At the end of the day, it is your decision. But that is ultimately it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.